This project has been an epic struggle. I bought it back in February. I put so much more than I originally anticipated, and I've quadrupled my cash flow from what I first thought it was going to be, and I'm going to show you the secret. Stay tuned. This is my first time buying a property with tenants, and it blew my mind having to deal with the types of people that had lived here prior. I mean, look at this. This is what it looked like before. I don't think I was prepared for the level of intensity and complexity and emotion that would be dragged out of my soul by dealing with the people that had lived here before. I mean, I had lawsuits threatened. It was like a nightmare one night. My phone was blowing up at 1:30 a.m. and one or two of the tenants had found my phone number online saying, I lost my key, I can't get in my apartment, and like this and that is wrong, and the other thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart's pounding. I'm just like, I can't fix this right now. Not having a professional property manager in place from the beginning was a huge mistake. I literally had to move these tenants into hotels twice. And you can see here, completely tear apart their floor, and there's dirt piled up this high in their bedroom, but they still have an open lease. So I have to provide them housing. So here I am paying thousands of dollars for these tenants to stay in hotels because I had to get the work done. So that was a ton of money that I really wasn't accounting for within the budget. So what I would have done differently to avoid that issue is done cash for keys, which I did on a couple of these. One lady was like, all right, maybe 2,500, but she's like, no, I want 4,000 now. It's like, I would have just given her the 3,800 or 4,000 or 3,500 because that would have been worth it with all the money I spent and the hassle and the headache putting up with them during the construction, because this is not an easy process for anybody. And now the secret of all secrets that you've all been waiting for, how I've tripled or even quadrupled the cash flow. Let's check it out. Airbnb, that's the secret. That's how I'm quadrupling the income that this property is producing versus 800 bucks, 1,000 bucks, 1,200 bucks a month. I'm now making 3,000, 4,000 or more a month if they have pets. There's like a little pet fee, and we have to have good cleaning and good management for that. But there's a catch. So this property consists of an 8-plex, a laundry building, a shed, and a duplex, and all 10 units here are ready for Airbnb. This is the duplex. We had to completely reframe, re-roof, rebuild, re-insulate, re-drywall, re-floor, everything. This whole thing. This is much nicer too. We did stainless steel appliances. We did really deep stainless steel sinks. Every finish is matte black. Beautiful ceiling fans. We really just went extra on the shower and the finishes and the black and the white. Then it has an in the unit laundry. The other ones don't. That's what the laundry building's for. And so this is just a little bit nicer, so I'll probably charge just a little bit more. So life is grand, right? You got rainbows, you got unicorns, you have cotton candy. There's like so many great things about life. You have Airbnb, you have cash flow, you have income. No problems, right? Psych. I cannot get a refinance loan, which is the whole point of this whole property. This is a BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and then repeat. Repeat is another property. But I can't get to the next property yet because I'm still waiting on that refinance. Banks don't understand short-term rentals. They want to see leases. They want to see guaranteed that I'm going to get money every single month. What they don't understand, it's this new thing with COVID, and if I had a lease and then COVID happened, they're like, well, I'm not going to pay rent. What do you do then? It's actually more secure to have a short-term rental, and the place gets cleaned more often, and the air filter gets cleaned like every single time, and they pay you before they even come. So it's much more safe to do the short-term rental, but the banks don't understand that, and that's been my issue. I've been rejected so many times for this refinance. I still have no idea what this appraisal is even going to come in at, because once the appraisal happens, that's going to be the value. Then I get an LTV, a loan to value, based off of that appraisal. So if I could get 70% or maybe 75% LTV, I don't know how much money I'm going to get back and then pay off my bridge loan, what I bought the place with. I have $1.5 million into this deal, probably even a little bit more. And you know, about 600 of that or so is a bridge loan, and so that would get paid off, but there's more. I didn't call the health department and do my true due diligence. This is a major point that I learned. If I would have called the health department, they would have said, whoa, there's a flag on this property, there's an illegal septic tank installed, and you can't even put in a septic tank on that property, period. That's why the old seller put in a septic tank illegally and didn't permit it. So here I am stuck with this property that I have to somehow do something with the sewer line. I mean, stuff's gotta go somewhere, right? I go to JEA and they're like, you gotta hire an engineer. So I hire an engineer and I'm like, okay, can we put a septic tank in here at all? Like, are you sure? He's like, well, we could go with this alternate, like, performance-based system, but we have to go through a variance process, and you could go to the end of your variance process and it could not even be approved. I decided to directional drill, horizontal directional drill, HDD, 700 feet down this road, all the way to Atlantic Boulevard. We design the engineering, we submit it to JEA, and they say, nope, you're not allowed to horizontal directional drill anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about? The engineer's like, what are you talking about? And all the other contractors that we were talking to, like underground utility guys, were like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh yeah, it's a new rule. I'm like, what? I had to go to the executive leadership team at JEA and schedule a development meeting and say, I physically must directional drill this, because it was gonna be like $200,000 to trench this whole road, repave the whole road, you know, lay all the pipe, put a lift station in, put a force main in, and get everything tapped into the sewer that's way up there, because there's no sewer on this road. I can't just tap into the sewer. It's all the way up there, 700 feet. I am still in this process and not really even knowing when or how I'll even get the approval to directional drill. I could still have to spend like $200,000 on this whole process. Hopefully I can get it done for much cheaper. Directional drill, waiting on a geotech report and a permit approval. So I'll keep you posted on my final video where I share all the numbers when this finally gets refinanced. It's a little bit stressful. You know, if you're gonna do a project like this, understand that there's a level of responsibility, a level of cash out of pocket, and a level of cash on hand to start that you need to have to bite off something like this that I almost couldn't chew, but I'm chewing it, thank God, because of other life circumstances that have had that, you know, the construction business doing well to where I can kind of float that a little bit. But my plan is to prove income. Some banks want 12 months. I'm like, oh no, like I just started last month actually having like a consistent Airbnb thing, which is doing great. It's the most popular Airbnb in Jacksonville on this property manager's portfolio. Absolutely crushing it. But I have to be patient. So I've just recently hired a guy that's gonna manage all of my personal real estate investments, because it really does take so much time and energy, but now I got it figured out. There's gonna be lots more of this kind of stuff coming on this YouTube channel and the Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Jesse Lane TV to go live, to answer questions, chat with me. We'll see you there. Like and subscribe, hit the bell. We'll talk to you next time.